I'm gonna go over this article on the Legend of Zelda, but I just wanted to go over this really quick. I thought this was a cool article to go over. So, Nintendo 64 version of Banjo-Kazooie fully decompiled. So it's real quick, just a little article talks about the fact that it got decompiled. And so what that means pretty much is that the full game is available for modding. So 100% everything is available, every item, character, the music. I believe they were able to find out every cheat code in Treasure Trove Cove, the sandcastle. So this is great news for modders. This is great news for PC players, because it is available now that they are going to be able to have it. So if they did want to do a PC port version, or not even a port, but just a PC version where they can, uncode the whole game and then make it available, will be possible. It isn't done yet, and there are still some kinks and little things here, little details that they got to work on with some of the coding still. So I believe as far as like the sizing and everything like that goes for it. So I believe in the next a couple of weeks to possibly maybe like a month or so, it should be adjusted, and then after that the game will be 100% available for everyone to mess with and to kind of do their own thing. So little post that they had about it, so I think that's awesome. I think that's going to be cool to be able to see the original Banjo Kazooie come to the PC world and to be able to be modded even more than it already is. Because I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen those videos where they'll mesh together like the Legend of Zelda and the Banjo Kazooie. So they'll have like Link inside of like Banjo's world, or they'll have like Banjo and Link's world. So it's pretty cool. I thought that was awesome. I thought that was something to look forward to, especially as a Banjo Kazooie fan. Something to see, be pretty cool. And then, so yeah, so we'll get into this article right here. So Nintendo's new Zelda timeline includes Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom as standalone. So as part of the Nintendo Live 2024 in Sydney event, Nintendo showcased a newer version of the timeline for the critically acclaimed The Legend of Zelda series of video games, which ultimately suggests that both The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild aren't part of the existing timeline Nintendo has produced before. The current timeline now shows that both the games stand alone on the timeline, as you can see below. So just a photo of the timeline from probably if they ever come out, I'm pretty sure with another Hyrule Historia, this will probably be what it looks like. So they got the original Skyward Sword, the Minish Cap, Four Swords, and then Ocarina of Time, and then this is where it gets into the famous or infamous break where it goes into the different eras. So we got the hero is triumphant, and then we got the adult era. So this is pretty much the era where Link continues on as an adult. So we got well, no, I'm sorry, where his timeline continues on where he was an adult. So we got the Wind Waker, the Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks. I've played the Wind Waker. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I never beat Wind Waker. I've gotten I got close, but I never fully completed it. So that's the one I got to go back to playing. And then Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, I never really played. I never really had any interest because they seem kind of like the side quest kind of games. So I mean, maybe one day I might go back and try to play them, but I'm good on that. And then the hero is triumphant, but he goes back to his own timeline. Then we got Majora's Mask, which is a great game. I beat that one. Twilight Princess, which I've played and beat, and then the Sword Forge Adventures. I have this game. I just never beat it, unfortunately. Same thing with Wind Waker. It's just one of the ones I got to go back to eventually, and then I'll be able to beat that. And then the heroes defeated timeline. So Imprisoning War. So we got a Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, A Link Between Worlds, excuse me, and then Triforce Heroes. So these ones, I never actually played a lot of these ones. So A Link to the Past, never played that one. Link's Awakening, I never played it on the original Game Boy, but I did buy the remake that they did for it, so I was able to play that one. Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages. Never played this one. And then I remember the story behind this one was that it was originally supposed to be 3 games, but when they were developing it, they had an issue. Something had happened. I can't remember what it was, but they had to change it to 2. And then A Link Between Worlds. Never played this one. Believe they did a remake of it for the 3DS. If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken on that one, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that one I never played as well. And then Triforce Heroes, never got to play that one. And then after that, of course, it goes into The Legend of Zelda. I've played The Legend of Zelda, never beat the original. So same thing with that. And then Zelda 2, same thing, played that one, but never beat it. These two were on the collector's disc on the GameCube, where it had, I believe, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and then Legend of Zelda and Legend of Zelda 2. And then I believe it had Wind Waker as like a demo on it. So I was able to play those ones. I just never beat them. And then, of course, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom in their own section. So as far as this goes with the whole article, them being a part of their own section, that I think is kind of weird. I was hoping that it would have, because I remember for years, especially after Breath of the Wild came out, people were speculating where on the timeline it was going to be exactly. And honestly, I think if they were to go that route, I would probably say the child timeline would probably be best where it would fit, just because of course it doesn't have that art style of the adult timeline. And uh I don't know, just the thought of like it being through that time. Well, actually, I don't know. It actually probably, well, considering the story itself, it probably would fit pretty well with the adult timeline. And then as far as the child timeline, I feel like that one, I feel like it would match the style of it more. But as far as the story itself, for anyone that knows, I'm not too sure. I feel like it probably would fit a little bit better with the adult era. Now that I'm thinking about it. And then as far as the hero is defeated, it could work in this era as well, but at the same time I feel like the original Legend of Zelda is kind of what the Breath of the Wild was based off of. So if it is one of those things, it would kind of be in that era. So I do feel like it probably would have fit again a little bit better with the adult era, where it would have, the Minish Cap, and then the same thing right here, you can just kind of have that align with something and then add these two. So at the end of the day, I mean, I'm kind of a little bit bummed out that it is in its own world, because the one great thing about all the games is that they were connected somehow, and this kind of takes that away a little bit. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. These are all great games to play anyway. So I know some people that actually didn't like the fact that there was like a connection between all of them. They wanted them to be like kind of their own separate games and everything like that. And then I've talked to other people. Like I remember I had a friend one time where she was telling me that she wasn't really into Zelda at all, but she told me that she thought the reason they were called the Legend of Zelda was because it was the same story, just told in a different way, because it was a legend. So the legend continues to be told in different ways. Excuse me. And because it's told in different ways, certain aspects change, but for the most part, the story overall is the same. So, I mean, in that regard, I can kind of understand where that would go. But, as far as the timeline goes with it being in its own thing, I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. Again, like I said, they are great games to play regardless, but it does negate the fact that it kind of does take these two away from the whole timeline itself. So depending on what they do with the next game and how they decide to go about it, if they do decide to be like, oh, it's its own thing, kind of situation, then at that point it's kind of like, well, then you probably don't really need a timeline. At the end of the day, we can just say again like they are their own separate games. So those are my thoughts on that. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. What you guys thoughts on? Do you guys like the fact that it's in its own timeline, or would you guys have preferred that it would be a part of the connecting timeline between all the other games? So let me know what you guys' thoughts are on that. If you guys can like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, until the next time, Harmonic out. Peace.